Okay, now I'm going to share my screen with you. Can you see the chart?
I can.
All right, Jamie, when's your birthday?
January 22nd, 1977,
Time?
5:12 p.m., 1712.
Okay,
Eastern
play.
Standard Time,
Where?
Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Harrisburg.
Hmm.
Okay, 3 degrees Leo rising. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Leo rising, Aquarius. Yep.
All right, so Jamie,
Mhm.
can you tell me a bit about what's happening in what's happening in your life currently, lately?
A lot. I'm 49, so I'm going through a lot of midlife, Chiron return, as you see there. I am finding my soul purpose. Like I have so many interests, and it's really dialing them back and finding out what truly is what lights me up. I'm very sensitive, so a lot part of my life I have taken on what everyone else was and not me. I didn't realize that. I have Pisces in my eighth house as well as um, and Venus is also there, but in my ninth in Pisces. And then everything's expanded with Jupiter and Neptune. And I see that that's what made me part of like the energy around me. And so now I'm learning what that is and really honing it in. My daughter's diagnosis as a type 1 diabetic in December 2022 has really allowed me to let the victim mentality go and let my fears go and really come into my sovereign, empowered self. And that's where I am. And I started a business in 2024 called The Place for Compassion because compassion really drives me. I don't feel like I've felt that a lot in my life, the nurturing and compassion that I've wanted. So now I'm trying to recreate that in the world around me.
Okay, the place for compassion for me is the Moon Venus conjunction in Pisces, being a place that other people can come to and trust. And it's also a passageway, kind of a place, right? The eighth house, but it's also a place of learning, the ninth house. And I feel that also, right, in what you had said, that you tended to take on other people, but I feel that in your sun placement as well on the descendant. And now that Pluto's been passing over your sun the previous few years, this is what I'm feeling about you having discovered your soul purpose, right? Like a life starting over transit, also the diagnosis of your daughter with type 1 diabetes. Does that mean she has to, how does that influence your life now?
Well, this morning I dropped her off at this camp. It's a 1 day camp, and I cried. I wasn't walking in with her. She is now almost over 3 years in. So she walked in by herself. They know they can call me. She went in and is managing it with the nurse there. So it's very freeing, but also very scary because you want to love and nurture her, make sure she's taken care of. But I know she can do that and call me if I'm needed. So you can see I have a little bit of tears, and it's still something I'm working through. I mean, she's young, so it's the motherhood, but also trusting.
Okay, and that makes me think about Pluto to your sun that's been going over the past several years, right? The big adjustment that you've had to make. So when you find out that somebody is a type 1, did you say diabetic? What does that mean? How does that
So it's an autoimmune. It just means that her pancreas decided not to work. So it's not lifestyle, it's something else, even though everything's energy. So for me, it represents remembering the sweetness in life. Um, for me, that's the symbolism of that. So it's me. letting go of the control mechanisms I've placed in my life, my survival mechanisms, and trusting and surrendering to something greater than myself.
Okay. Okay, interesting. So how, like, can you give an example? Like how did you the sh
Well,
so
so I had a narcissistic relationship. My her father was
okay.
really tough for me, and so when I let that go, I feel like a part of me became codependent on my relationship with my daughter, and now it's becoming interdependence. If that gives you something, that's what I'm feeling.
Interesting. Okay. Right, so do you see that Pluto conjunct your sun on the cusp of the seventh house?
Yeah.
What also comes up for me is the location of Pluto in your birth chart, that it's so close to the cusp of the fourth, which is about your closest relationships, right? To your husband, to your child, also to your parents.
Mhm.
What does it mean to be so how does that break the codependence because of the how does the diagnosis break that?
Well, for me, it's this is her life, right? Like I'm here to nurture a soul. And when I was young, I felt like I was, because I did blend, I was the person who narrated or helped maintain the energy of the house, the chaos of the house. I had a younger brother who was a free spirit, a beautiful spirit who passed away when he was 25, so 22 years ago. And so I had to control, that's where my control started. I was a fixer, a controller, and I didn't realize it. So yeah, I tried to control and keep her steady, those numbers, because those alarms will go off all the time. And to me, it felt like spirit made sure I couldn't control the numbers completely. So it allowed me to just trust that prayer and Reiki and all the love and nurturing and everything I've learned was just going to be enough. I never wanted to be a nurse. For some reason, I always knew that. I never wanted to be a nurse or famous. And here I am, a mother who's a nurse to her daughter. It's just letting go of the things that you thought that you needed to be in your life to keep you safe and survive. And whatever that is, I had to let go of because I'm recreating, literally coming out of the chrysalis right now. So this is the
Okay.
timing that I wanted.
I'm really feeling this yod in your chart between Saturn, Pluto, and the moon in the eighth house Pisces with the passing of your brother and also you being a caretaker for your daughter now.
Interesting. The yod, the God finger, right? What is finger of God?
Yeah, for I mean for me the it's just about these three planets all being at exactly 14 degrees, right? And I'm feeling that moon in Pisces in the eighth. Can you tell me more about being your daughter's nurse?
Yeah. Well, because her father and I are not together. And so I've been doing it alone. And while doing it alone, I've had him come at me like I wasn't. So I had to defend my integrity and my dignity to
Okay.
a narcissist the whole time while I'm doing these things.
Okay, so there's Saturn in the first. You're doing it alone. All of the responsibility falls on you. And there's the connection with Pluto and Libra near the fourth, that he's coming at you like that's not the case, so you have to fight him off and figure out how to deal with him. And you can't help it because he's your family, right? There's Pluto on the cusp of the fourth. You're connected to him by your daughter. And then there's your daughter for me, the moon in the eighth Pisces, suffering. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And the other thing is like that then comes the Venus in the ninth, and there's like the faith and the belief in something higher and the surrender, right? So that's connected to this story.
Hmm. Yeah, it's definitely connected for me. I feel that. I mean, for me, everything's energy and everything's building to get you to the point um, of ascending, of becoming a better version of yourself. Obviously, yeah. And I have let his power go. He is because I was no longer reacting, defending. He has gone invisible or close to since October last year, October 2025.
Well, that just makes me think again about Pluto conjunct your sun. Yeah, in October is when Pluto was stationing, making the final station on top of your sun. Station is when they come to a complete stop and then they start moving in a new direction.
Mhm.
Okay. So you're alone. He's not you don't really talk or interact or you have full custody.
We have shared custody. However, she's used her voice because of his controlling. So he blames me, but yeah, she hasn't want to go because he was controlling her diabetes to the point where it was breaking her spirit. And this is a lifelong journey. So I had to be her voice. Yeah. It's
Okay, I'm feeling the Mars, Mercury, Capricorn sixth house, the lifelong journey with the health. Yeah, connected to all those planets.
yeah. Well, and right after her diagnosis, I met my now husband. He's now 19 years older than me. We just had our anniversary on 6/6. That's our second anniversary. So
Uh, I s 2 years ago you met.
we met actually right before her diagnosis in 2022. So in November. And I wasn't interested. I was already ready to be just by myself. I was not trying to settle or redo past patterns. And he showed up where I was like, oh, you would do that for me? So it was a whole new energy into my life that I had to walk through that uncomfortable. Um,
Uh-huh. I hear the Pluto passing over your sun in the like on the cusp of the seventh, that you trade one partner for the other and you go through this kind of initiation period. There's also that period in between, like the Pluto, the darkness, where you don't have a partner. It takes the sun away.
there was some before our divorce was 2018 and 19. So there was some dark night of the soul, allowing myself to accept more non-regulated behavior in my life, and to the point where I went, Jamie, you have to do better for yourself. So between 18 and 22, I did a lot of work there to figure myself out and no longer accept um, bad behavior from people.
I see. Okay. That's when the Saturn, Jupiter, Pluto conjunction was on top of your sun, right? And your sun being the way that you live your life and what you permit and what your goals are and how you see yourself and just how you create. Right. So you went through all those three big planets on top of your sun, and it's like you start into a completely new and different chapter of your life over that period.
Yeah, for sure. I became a health, nutrition, and spiritual coach, a sound healing practitioner. And I got my Reiki master teacher certification in Usui and Locust Light. So um, I was on a mission, and it was soul led because I don't know how I did all that with everything else going on.
Hmm. Okay, so the Pisces I'm feeling very much, obviously. And now that you brought up the nutrition, health and nutrition, that's making me think about the Mercury and Capricorn in the sixth house. The sound healing as well makes me think about your sun in Aquarius on the cusp of the seventh, because I imagine you're in a space and there's like, music and people are being bathed in sound, Aquarius. Okay, so what do you work in a center? Do you work out of your home? How often what is your kind of day to day?
Good. That's great. So I think that's mainly what I think I need help with in this area. So I'm also a yogi. I did go to yoga teacher training in that same time as well. So I do that at a yoga studio. And my day to day is kind of what I'm trying to ground in now. So I just took a part-time job, literally at Target. Like I had to quit my six-figure income job in 2024, traveling the state after my daughter's diagnosis. Um, I just tapped
Uh,
out May of 2024. And then, so I've been kind of floating and trying to figure out my job and see what feels good. I've tried a couple things, honoring myself for the first time and saying no, thank you, even if like I didn't feel like I gave it enough time or even if I felt guilty. So I've been trying things and allowing myself to fail with grace and compassion. And now I'm just getting a part-time job so I can feel like an income's coming in because financial instability is not, it's in the background, but it's not tearing up my soul because I have surrendered a lot. And now I'm doing like sun catcher workshops because I make sun catchers. I'm creative. I do artistic stuff that way. I'm doing craft shows and I'm kind of just picking things up and letting them go and flowing with life until I figure out exactly what it is that is the thing. If
oh,
that makes
I
sense.
get it. Okay. Um,
My inner child wants to come out a lot too. Like I have a very goofy inner child side and I'm very passionate about animals, kids, and seniors. And so I've been doing a lot of things with those three
okay, I'm
things.
feeling your Saturn in the first house, Leo, quite a bit. Kids, Leo, inner child, Leo, goofiness, Leo, elder people, Saturn. So, okay, I'm gonna show you a few things. Okay, first, I need to clarify something. You said you had a job traveling the state. Did I hear that correctly?
I did. I was a manufacturer rep for a decking company. I was in
Oh,
sales.
beautiful. Okay, so when you're traveling the state, that's your sun in Aquarius in the seventh, because Aquarius is the city life. It's the highways. It's going to different cities, meeting different people, talking with different communities, talking with different organizations. Yeah, Aquarius, humanity, community, larger groups of people. Yeah, so traveling all the time, right? Because the sun is setting in Aquarius. But notice you're doing it for decking. Mercury, Mars, Capricorn.
I was, yes.
But does it make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
But it's what's aligning. I'm just going to bring this up is I still want community. I still want to create community. And I call myself the energy gypsy because I can move to people. So I'll just stop there.
Okay. Good. So you see that in your sun in Aquarius, yeah?
Mhm.
Okay. Now, here's what I want. This is what came up for me very strongly is again Pluto that was transiting your sun. And so it took that away. You were used to traveling all the time. You had that job, right? The sun, what you do every day, how you know yourself. Right. And now that Pluto is transiting over, you had to lose that. Now you have to find something totally new. But look at this. Pluto is moving back towards your sun right now.
Mhm.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months. So in 5 months, you see Pluto's going to station on top of your sun. And then he's going to start moving away and not return, which tells me that you're still in the period like these next months of just like really coming to clarity. Something is shaping, something is forming. You're still gathering all the pieces, you're meeting different people, but it's kind of like not totally hasn't been fully created. So for me, that Pluto moving away already in November is like the beginning of something new and very big, right? Because Pluto has a 250-year cycle. So it's the beginning of a 250-year cycle for you past this life.
Right. Yeah. I love that. And then we have this interesting configuration coming up because Jupiter's going to move into my first, well,
Exactly. Yes. And that's the
and then
part
we
where
have
you
Uranus, Jupiter, and then Pluto. Go ahead.
okay, yes, those Because you said that you really want to express and feel your inner child, like there's the goofiness coming out. And as soon as you said that, I was like, yeah, you're feeling Jupiter that's about to enter Leo and conjoin your ascendant and oppose your sun, right? So there's something really big coming for you right now.
Right.
Are you starting something like a community or
I don't, there's people that are reaching out. Like I feel something building, but I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't
okay,
know.
so look, Jupiter is now at 26 Cancer. Yeah. So you said you feel something building. This is an applying aspect because he's applying the opposition to the sun. He's building the opposition. If I fast forward 1 month, you see the opposition is exact, but notice then the sun is moving towards him. So the sun is like the highlighter. So if I go fast forward 1 week, 2 weeks, so you're going to see at the end of July, there's the Jupiter Cazimi opposite your sun. So there should be something really exciting and important happening at that time with whatever you're getting reached out for now.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's interesting because it's all really close to Chiron too. Because I really feel like my life is kind of like the wounded healer. Like, going through, a lot of us have to transmute a lot, and I want to transmute mine. I don't want to live like that anymore. I want to keep going and transmuting. Because Chiron's going to be almost close to that yacht as well. And then Sedna as well. It's with Uranus, and I love the Sedna story as well. And Ayana. And they're all active.
Can you tell me what do you see on the horizon? What are you being reached out for?
So far, there's just people asking, to meet together so we can kind of allow the energy to uncover itself. I mean, it's just all beautiful energy, and I know it's coming, and there's a lot of things that aren't aligning, so we haven't been able to meet up yet. So it's like it's pushing to get closer to July. And that's, I think, which is fine. I don't mind waiting. Because everything is divine timing anyway. But I love just, some validation here and there is always wonderful on this journey.
Obviously it's gonna start already, yeah, in July, precisely. But notice again, it's people coming together, yeah? Your sun in
Yeah.
Aquarius on the seventh house cusp. So who are these people? What are they coming together for? What is forming?
So for now, it's just meetings to come together to see how we align. And that's as far as I know. Like one person's a farm, one person does 3D breath work. And then there's just other coaches and people I've met at other energetic things. So I really don't know beyond that. I know what they do, but I don't know how we would come together.
Okay, so do you hear the Pluto to your sun? Right, the conjunction that's still like retrograde and going back. You don't really know. There's like this group of people. You're about to meet all of them. There's something interesting happening. Nobody really knows what's forming just yet, but something is there. And there's like energy, there's momentum behind it. Something interesting is coming.
Yeah, it's like a trust that I already know something's going to happen, but I can't tell you what it is. That's the surrender part. That's the frustrating human part, but also the excitement, right? Like Christmas morning coming.
Yeah, I'm also feeling how Saturn is coming very close to your midheaven, and you've taken a job just because you have to. So there's the sense of like urgency, Aries, and responsibility, Saturn, that's coming up for you big time now.
I love that too, and I feel that, but I love that, and I can feel some uncomfortableness in this job because I'm used to management, and I'm used to being a solution person. So here I'm showing up and doing a job, and I want to do it in the way that I want to show up in the world. So what I love is that all this uncomfortableness I'm feeling and the resistance is I'm going, well, how can I get my Mary Magdalene energy in there? How can I bring my Kuan Yin or my Buddha energy? How can I create the world I want to live in now with this job? Because there's things like that I could feel my annoyances coming up, but I want to feel it, but then I want to go through it and then go, how do I want to live? How can I impact humanity? How can I be me without letting these circumstances create dis-ease inside of me? Or how can I transmute that on my own in that moment? So that's what I'm learning to live through, with my nervous system having gone through fight, flight, freeze from my daughter, and then now coming back into the world with this whole new self.
Okay, this is making me think about your Saturn in Leo in the first house. You're used to management, you're used to authoritative positions, you're used to being the problem solver. People know they can come to you and ask for something. Saturn in Leo in the first. But now Saturn is stationing in Aries, and Aries is the newcomer, starting over, starting fresh, not being, at any position yet.
Yep. It's so nice to get someone else's perspective, just to like, yeah, absolutely it is. Mm.
And I feel how it's in the ninth house also, right? Because the way this is arranged is testing your faith, and you're listing the gods, right, that you're calling on for support. And also right, the ninth house of perspective, how you see things, how you approach things. So it makes me think about Saturn transiting your ninth already since a couple years, right? That process of shifting your perspective already since a few years, it's been in your focus. So you have some mastery over it at the same time.
Mm-hmm. What about Uranus in my chart? Uranus is I think Uranus and Pluto, I feel like, have played a lot in my relationships, a lot. Like I don't have a lot of close people in my life. I've had, and I think that had a lot to do with my energy of merging, and then maybe because I know more than I maybe should, and I didn't realize that, I might have created some things in the past that.
Can you give an example?
A lot of my friendships just, they don't stick around, and I'm not I mean, relationships are reciprocal, so I'm here to own any parts that I need to own as well. But a lot of them were liars, or just couldn't come with the truth, or just never could be authentic. Like I always came authentically me as much as I could in every moment with love, and then I didn't get the same in return. That's probably the Pluto in my Libra, right? Balancing.
Maybe I'm thinking the Saturn in Leo, actually. Because Leo, to show up authentically, to be engaging, to be present, to give your attention. And Saturn not receiving the same in return, not being engaged, not being attended to.
Yeah.
And also because it's technically you're born during the Sun Saturn opposition, because the Sun's already in Aquarius. He's already approaching the opposition to Saturn. And the Sun on the cusp of the seventh in Aquarius makes me think about how much of your life must be around the people you're surrounding yourself with. Your friend group, or the community, or the organization, or whatever you're a part of. It's being a part of something, Aquarius. Right, and so you're focusing a lot on that. And I guess having the responsibility, because Saturn and Leo's in your first house.
Yeah, I did take on all my jobs. Like my jobs were me, like in the past, not anymore, but yeah, for sure. Absolutely. I was validated by my job.
Do you still live in Harrisburg?
Yes. Well, I moved back. Yes.
Uh-huh.
I moved back right before the divorce. We were trying to restart because of my father had passed away as well. So we were going to come try new here, and that didn't work. So
So when your daughter got the diagnosis, does that mean like frequent hospital visits, working with doctors, like learning from attending, I don't know, something?
Yeah, at the beginning, yeah, we were always going in and learning, and now we still have twice a year, and it's me. Yeah. And I had, plus in that year, she had bullying and a lot of problems with one of her teachers who now no longer even works at the school anymore. Um, it was like
Uh-huh.
it was almost like I was dealing with narcissists everywhere. They were coming at me with my neighbor, my daughter's school, and then her dad. It was, woo,
Okay, do
that
you
was a
see
year.
Pluto on your sun in the seventh house, yeah? In Aquarius, all the people around, everyone being horrible.
They were. It wasn't easy.
Okay, interesting. Okay, so what do you actually actively do at the moment?
Currently, right now, I am grounding every day. Riding my bike is what makes me joyful. I love podcasts on the Schumann and astrology. And I go to work and spend time with my family and create peace in my home and around my home. So I'm always in nature. Like people call me Snow White. The bunnies and the chipmunks and the squirrels just come right up. And the birds are around as well.
Okay, that's a very different kind of part of your chart. All the water and the earth,
This
right?
is
The
who I
moon.
am now. This is I grew up on the mountains. So I used to go up on this, like walk with my dogs and just go up by myself and just sit by the stream. And I always felt like someone was watching me, keeping me safe. And then it was by myself all the time. And that would have been when I was like 12-ish, probably middle school.
Okay. Being by yourself makes me think about the Saturn in the first house, Leo.
There weren't any kids around my age. They were all boys and they were either
Uh,
younger or older. Yeah.
Interesting. And especially that it's boys,
Did you freeze?
Leo.
Oh, there you are.
I don't know. Oh, maybe because can you hear me okay?
Yeah, well, you're good.
All right. Sitting by the stream, Moon, Venus, Pisces, and also that you're on your own makes me think about Moon, eighth house against Saturn in the first. Yeah, growing up on the mountains and going hiking with your dog, Mars, Mercury, Capricorn in the sixth. And yeah, also being
Hmm.
surrounded by gorgeous, beautiful nature and mountains, Jupiter and Taurus. Can you tell me more about that part of your life?
Oh, it was just beautiful. It was freeing. It was like the last freedom I had before you just stayed busy, like sports all the time. Um, so it's that part of my life that I'm almost like really connecting to now. And I'm not on the mountain like I want, 'cause that's where my mom lives, but I've created this beautiful space in the space that I am in now. Um, yeah, and I'm really proud of the changes I've made without being prideful, but I am proud of how far I've come. And you know, and that's what I preach, or not preach, but like share, like, just allow your home to be whatever it is. Like your dining room doesn't have to look like a dining room. Like, so like I just changed everything and took away the rules and swiped things clean and just started to build whatever felt good. And that's where
Okay,
I am now.
this makes me think about Jupiter's transit through Cancer over the past year. And Jupiter is actually at the tail end. He's about to leave Cancer and enter Leo and be on your ascendant. So that makes me think about this previous year that you've been focused on home and family and just like making it exactly what you want it to be. And now you're at the tail end of that process. You've learned so much through it and you want to like share that with people, Leo, right? You feel so happy with what you've done, Jupiter, on your ascendant. Does it make
Yeah,
sense?
absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You had said also that you were doing a lot of sports. Did I understand correctly?
My whole I've a real natural athlete. It's always been just a beautiful gift I've had. So yeah, I was a multi-sport athlete through college. And then, I played volleyball even up to 2 years ago. And then since I've actually just allowed myself to stop because I wasn't sleeping. So I allowed myself to just take a break from everything. Because I don't want to be in competition so much anymore. That doesn't drive me, but being active does. So I've always been a dancer too, but not like structured dancing. I just love to go and just be a part. So like dance clubs, I used to always go clubbing just because I love to just the loud music. And I didn't have to be social then. You could be social but not talk and just lose yourself into the music. I get lost in energy, and music is so beautiful for that.
Okay. Well, first of all, that you've been sportive your whole life obviously makes me think about your Mars in the sixth house Capricorn. And then that you kind of were blessed in many ways with that. I feel the trine to Jupiter in Taurus. And the unstructured dancing, of course, for me comes to Pisces and also feeling all of the energy streams and just enjoying to soak in that. But again, for me, I notice, right, the teams, like going to the studio Aquarius.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think Uranus is breaking that up because I don't want that structure anymore. Like I don't want to be stuck in that. Like always having to show up for something.
Uh-huh.
So another thing I've always felt was like just a burden. I don't feel that quite so much anymore, but I felt like I was holding so much. And then another feeling I had that my mantra used to be like, well, it doesn't matter. Who cares? It doesn't matter. That's how, because all my effort, I never felt like it was reciprocated. Well, it doesn't matter. Who cares? So, and that I don't want to say that anymore because I believe in all the laws of attraction and all that stuff. But those were the things that used to come out of my mouth due to my experiences. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Can you give an example? Well, I'm picking up the Saturn in Leo very much because Leo is effort. Because think of how much energy is in the sun. Yeah? And it's constantly giving energy. So Saturn and Leo in the first house, someone who gives and gives, but doesn't get in return, or it's not rewarded.
Like with my ex-husband. So it would be like, I've showed up, I've done everything. And like with the court system, unfortunately, I have to show up with that because he started that. And they believed everything. And I said, well, everything he just said was a lie. Is there any, can we continue a conversation? And they just bypassed me. And I was just like, so he keeps getting, I'm just going to call it the wins. He keeps getting the wins, if you will, with society, financially as well. And I'm like, well, that's the only thing I get for support that helps me when I had to quit my job. He had an accident at the exact same time. That's how funny energy is, right? Like I finally go, I tap out. I can't do this anymore. He had an accident. The government gave him 10 months off, not paying me with no arrears. And at that point, I, did it because my health and, and taking care of it. And they didn't care. They told me I was still worth a 6-figure income and all those things. So now I'm looking because everything that he's done, he now has a new car, new house, new all these things, which I'm happy for him. But that just proves the lies. So now I'm like, do I go and try to get justice?
Okay, yes, you will. I got it. You will. Because Jupiter is going to conjoin your Saturn in Leo in the first house. Okay, I'm even going to tell you when.
Because Jupiter could also mean a monetary, like, I don't need extra. I
No,
just
for me,
wanted,
it's not about that.
it's not.
Because Jupiter is transiting your Saturn in Leo in the first house. For me, that's about you standing up for yourself and going through the whatever motions are necessary not to get walked on. Leo is pride. Leo is about standing up for yourself. So in September, I see something happening.
That's
Big,
nice.
yeah, big time. I do see you going to court. I see you fighting.
Good. Because
Now
I'm
the
not
defense
sure
part.
if, like, I'm at the point where I'm like, do I put more energy into this or do I let it go?
Oh, you're gonna put more energy in.
Okay.
Well, that's my opinion. Now that with what you told me, that is what I feel or what I noticed.
No, I
Right?
appreciate that. I have the paperwork of what I need to do next, but I was like, where do I want to focus, you know? But I love that I get something, some kind of energy reciprocation and justice. Yeah. It feels right.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel you becoming very impassioned and very like reflecting on how you have limited your shine and you have tended to shy away maybe from standing up for yourself. Maybe you weren't allowed to. Maybe you weren't allowed to express. That's coming up actually pretty strongly with Saturn the first in Leo. So
That
this to me
feels
feels like a liberation. Go ahead.
that feels right because I just feel like sometimes I've been using my voice, but I feel like there's like a cap to where I use my voice, right? Because then you're just the person who's too much again. And it's like, but I was never that person. That's just what he made everyone think, you know? So yeah, I'm gonna be like more of an Isis or Kali in this moment for that. That's beautiful.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like sacred rage coming through and like being liberated. I feel something
Good.
very good is coming, and it's coming from you. The fire is coming from inside of you.
Yeah, it's not about validation or anything. It's just about taking myself back. And that's part of like, yeah, fighting for that a little bit,
I
maybe.
feel your husband also being very supportive and
He's
like hmm?
he's great. If it was something I would want, he would support me for sure.
Yeah, I feel him like standing behind you and there's like this I don't like almost like recognizing who's your clan. Feels like that kind of moment.
You know, he showed up to be part of my clan. Yeah. He's amazing. I've never experienced anything like it. And I'm very grateful.
Yeah, for me, the moon in Pisces. The Pisces for me is the lying.
Yeah. But it was about me trusting my intuition because there was so many times in that relationship where I was like, I needed proof because I was so in love with his son, who's still like amazing in my life, thanks to his mother. And
Oh, interesting. Okay, there's the moon in Pisces again, right? Because it's somebody else's family, the eighth house. And Pisces is you're not even related to them. They're just like a spiritual connection, let's say.
they're yeah, she honors love and she knows I love her son. I raised him since he was 3 with her father, with his father.
Okay.
But
Do you see the moon in the eighth house? Pisces raising someone else's child.
yeah, he's a beautiful kid. He's now 19. So
Okay. Uh-huh. So you were disciplining him.
I didn't need to discipline him at all. Yeah. I just needed to be there to love and nurture him.
Okay. Okay, I'm feeling the moon Venus again.
Yeah, no, he's a gift. His just like last year, he said, Jamie, I needed to let you know that dad always had me lying to you. And I needed you to know that I lied to you. And and it just gave me the validation I always knew, but I never gave to myself. But I was like, babe, that's not on you. You are just a child. So, but how beautiful is that, that this child is not going to follow into his father's footsteps? Because he even said it. What if I end up like him? And I'm like, honey, you asking that question, you're not him. So,
Interesting. It makes me think about the extreme pressure from Saturn and Pluto to your moon, but the moon is approaching Venus. So, the situation with your ex is traumatic, and he even has the courts against you, and he's lying at this really high level to try and whatever manipulate like crazy.
To keep
But
his story.
yeah, but there's this softening effect, and there's maybe love from the courts even because Venus is in the ninth, favor from them eventually, but at least favor and closeness with your children.
Hey, it's if I don't win with the courts, it's fine. I have love and my children and everything else, you know. That would be great, just validation in the whole scope of energy, but I don't need that to be complete for sure.
Mhm. I see. Okay, so I feel like the summer is when things get really heated.
Yeah. He just had his he's on his third wife and now he has a second child with her now. And my daughter just found out about that a couple weeks ago because she's now been born now because he hasn't. So he's over there making new life, which is fine. But neither one of his first two children have been seeing him. He's checked out almost. That's interesting.
Yeah, it is.
But I know it's going to pop up again because that's how he does it. He'll sneak attack me somewhere. But it's okay. I'm ready.
Okay, that makes me think about Pluto on the cusp of your fourth in Libra, right? Making a family, having a child with someone who torments you through marriage. Hmm.
Hmm.
What are your other what else have you done for work historically? You said that you did the decking. What can you explain more about that?
I've done a lot of so my work life has been in patriarchal systems, male
Okay.
dominated industries. So everything I've done, I've had to like prove myself in order to like I would sell everything else and then get to my decking, like show that I can talk about other things just to be seen. Um, there's a lot of like Mennonite and Amish communities, so a lot of communities where the women stay home still in my area, like those type of communities. I'm not sure if you know what that is in Germany, but so for me to go in, sometimes they wouldn't even look up because the woman should have been at home, not walking into their business. Um, so it's always been interesting energy, but I'm not proving myself anymore. I'm not doing that.
Okay, one of them, I feel Saturn in your first house very much. Like
Yes.
having for so many years to prove yourself and be in a male dominated hierarchy, Leo, where you probably feel like you don't even have a voice. Uh-huh.
Mhm. Yeah.
And like you shouldn't stand out or talk, or if you do, maybe you aren't noticed or taken seriously.
Or they'll shame you and then take your idea for themselves like a couple months later.
Uh,
Yeah. So it's been interesting. The other thing that's definitely in my is my mother wound for sure. I was always so appreciative of my family, and my brother and I always wanted to make sure we were in each other's lives because my parents, like my aunts and uncles, were never there really, like just for holidays. So my brother and I always promised we were going to do it differently. Ironically, of course, we didn't get that opportunity with him gone at 25. I was 27.
uh,
But my mother and my father's dynamic was interesting. I became a tomboy and only would resonate with being called a tomboy, not a female, not a girl, not a woman, just a tomboy. Even though I know I'm a girl and I'm, you know, heterosexual and, all those things. But in my house, my dad was the dominant energy and would use sarcasm and make fun of my mother. And my mother used to always say, you always picked on me. And I said to her, I was a kid. Like, that was between you and your dad. Do not bring me and my brother into this. Like, it wasn't that. So he had also stepped out of my mom, and they made amends and came back. But that was in like my most, probably middle school. And then I always had to manage my brother, who was chaotic. Like I said, a free spirit. So I was the person tending to the home. When my dad was always out working, my mom was overwhelmed. As the Pisces merger, I was the person who would clean the house as a surprise to try to appease and make everyone happy. Like, I was always trying to, as the peacemaker, if you will.
Okay, I feel the moon Venus especially. And with the cleaning, Pisces for sure, and that it all falls on you, I feel the Saturn.
That's the burden I've always felt, I feel like.
And it
which I
also
didn't
feels
even
like
know.
not getting to play or have fun.
Also not getting seen. Like, Jeremy just did whatever he wanted. And I was always like, but I've done everything. I followed all the rules. I've cleaned. Like, I do everything right. I get good grades. What? How come I don't get to do it? They're like, but he just goes and does it. And I'm like, but I don't have any friends close by. Like, why does he get to do it? Well, we can't control him. I'm like, well, dang it. So it just felt like good energy just never got the reciprocity it deserved. So.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. I get it.
So I always overachieved, got everything done, just always just trying to get noticed, but I never did. And I burnt myself out. So my daughter's diagnosis was to bring me out of overachieving and just knowing I'm worthy just as I am, just like everybody is. We don't need to overachieve. We don't need to push. We just need to show up as ourselves and figure out what makes us happy, following our solar plexus, our sun, seeing what makes us joyful and lights us up, and anything else going, oh, well, that doesn't feel good. And that's a no, thank you. And trusting that and believing your own inside yeses and nos, because we're heart coherent electric beings. So when we're brought towards something like a magnet, it's a yes, right? So that's been my experience and what I've been living. This is how I've been living now, undoing all the patterning of my own personal house, but also cultural conditioning, where women are just, we have to work harder, even though sometimes it may not seem that way.
Yeah, the
Then we
cultural.
also hold everything down in the house. I mean, it just, for me, it was just so much to be in charge of. And I think that's where it doesn't matter. Like, all the effort, it never mattered. Like, that's where it came from. All the effort never mattered, but you did, because it mattered to me to do it. And that should have been enough. I shouldn't have needed the validation. I'm not shaming myself, but it's just our conditioning.
What did you mean that your brother was a free spirit?
Full throttle. He did whatever he wanted. Like, his solar plexus was his lighthouse, and that's what he did. It didn't matter. Didn't matter if he got lost. It didn't matter if no one knew where he was. He would go down the street, not tell anyone. And, back then there was no phones and stuff. So it would just freak everybody out. And I would feel that fear in my mother all the time. That's what it was. Her fear became mine. And she still has that with my daughter's diagnosis. And she's like, so she still gets fearful. And isn't mama doing better? Aren't I handling things better, Maya? To my daughter. And I go, Mom, she's not here to manage your emotions. You should manage your emotions and make it safe for her. But watching her with my daughter shows me how I had to change to support her and hold her up. And that wasn't my job as a child, but it became my job. And I've been letting that go ever since. And since I am, of course, our relationship has changed. And that's why I have to nurture myself, because my mother's not going to do it for me. no one's going to come and save us. We have to do it for ourselves, even though you always wanted your mom to love you, right? And care about your needs and ask you questions. But she's more worried about her own questions. So I have to worry about my daughter's questions because I don't want her to feel like me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I'm curious about people that want to come. And becoming a health and nutrition coach taught me not to fix other people. It taught me to ask questions. Because then I'm just projecting and assuming and judging. And that's not for me.
Do you still coach nutritionally?
So I've done all the things. I just haven't gotten the frequency where people are responding and showing up yet.
Uh-huh.
So hopefully July through September.
Exactly.
I keep showing up, and that's all I can do at this point. Because apparently I have to keep doing work for the frequency to match people to come in. But I know my heart's right. Like I know I'm in the right direction because
And you said in the meanwhile you have a job at Target.
Sorry, it sounds
right?
so funny when you said that, but yes, I do.
And so what do you do at Target?
I am behind the scenes. I ask them to, so I'm unpacking stuff and organizing it. And then once in a while I'll go on the floor and help fulfill. But I wanted just to produce. I wanted a job where I could use my Capricorn energy and just get shit done, excuse my language, for a paycheck. And I'm doing it in the morning, 6 a.m. to like 11 or 1 or something like that. So that way I can still live my life and flow the rest of my day with my family or do whatever I want creatively.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that makes me think about okay, so can you just explain again what is it exactly that can you just walk me a little bit through a day at Target?
So Target, I go in, it's about 5 minutes from my house, so it's super nice. I go in around 6 a.m., clock in, and then I go to the back room and I unbox materials. And then I sort them and hang them, and then I put them away. And then I go out on the floor just a little bit because I really don't want to be forward facing, so I can save my energy for what I really want to face people with, which is the place for compassion.
Okay, I get it. Okay, so Saturn during this period is squaring your Mercury and Mars in Capricorn in the 6th. Right? So think about the work that you're doing, you're unboxing things, Capricorn, right? Because you're dealing with materials and with like wheeling things around with metals, with rafters, right? With organizing, putting them where they should go, right? Capricorn, do you feel that? Mercury and Capricorn, everything that you're doing there.
Yeah. But I'm also, like I said, I'm working through the resistance of some of the things that I wasn't expecting I would have to do and finding compassion and showing up the way I want.
Okay, so do you hear the 9th house in that? That Saturn is transiting the 9th. Where you're looking for compassion, you're looking for higher understanding, you're working on a higher level. You're not just at work, that's a part of it. The stimulation for growth is coming from the work itself. Saturn in the 9th square, Mars in the 6th.
Yes, it is. Yes. Yeah.
Right? And it's Aries, it's something quick. It's let's get it done and over with in the morning. Yeah, Aries. So then I have the rest of the day to myself. So it's like, come on, let's get to work, Saturn and Aries. Yeah, and the other part, notice that at the same time, Saturn in Aries is trine to your Saturn in Leo in the 1st, and you said it's behind the scenes work. You don't get seen, and you don't want to be. You don't want to be forward facing. Saturn in Leo in the 1st.
Yeah.
Right? Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Right, and at the same time, you're still working on your philosophy, your idea that you have to share with the world, the 9th house. Right, and then Saturn enters the 10th. That happens a little bit later. And then that also feels like very fruitful in a way for your work.
I'm just going to bring it up because I just had an interview with another part-time job from Manada Conservancy. So it's a land conservancy in this area where I would go and report is super close by, and it's kind of community, and I would be the volunteer organization, and they're let me know by next week if it's a fit. I mean, we'll see, but
To me, it seems like a yes, girl.
I know it feels like it's an alignment.
Because
We'll
when
see.
Jupiter enters Leo, that sounds like a Leo work that you would
It
be doing.
does. That's why I felt like I needed to bring that up. I'm like, huh.
Yes, and also think about it, land conservancy, Mercury, Mars, Capricorn. Right? Capricorn is the land. You can also see it as your Jupiter and Taurus.
Yeah.
And right, and it's community based, and you work with lots of people. Again, Sun in Aquarius, what you will never escape.
Yeah, I know I need community, even though I want to hide sometimes and just be a hermit. I know I'm being driven to
Totally. You're starting like a very, yeah. For me, it's like you're starting a society. Pluto to your Sun in Aquarius.
yeah, I keep hearing that and I'm like, I'm so excited to see what that's gonna look like. I don't know what it's gonna be, but okay.
All right, let's pause here. So, what do you think? How do you feel?
Yeah, that was a lot. I wasn't expecting to go through that much, but yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. What do you think?
You understand astrology very well. You're following very quickly. Yeah, because I feel in every conversation, people are at different levels. And so I kind of feel that even in my own body, and you're able to keep up very quickly. So that made things well, very easy for me.
Yeah, I mean, I can because I can feel energy. So right, so like sometimes I can't put it into words, but I can feel things. And I know what's right and I can validate the integrity of it. Yeah, everything's in my body for sure. Jupiter and Taurus.
Yeah.
Everything's in my body. So I'm learning again, I'm trusting that. I'm out of that last relationship. So I'm trusting my intuition more and more and more and more and more. And how beautiful and freeing is that? So freeing. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna stop recording and then we can talk for just another minute. So Jamie and I are signing out.